Hi everyone, this video is just a tutorial of how I made the painting using IBIS Paint X. So first we're going to go to the app and click on My Gallery, and then we're going to be given a blank page and multiple brushes to select from. Then we also have our color palette. I'll be starting with black for drawing. This is our final image, but this is how I'm going to start. First, I draw an oval. It doesn't have to be perfect. You could always make edits. Next, divide it into 4 and then divide from 4 to 8 and 8 to 16. You want to make sure it looks just like this. Next, we draw a triangle and a circle on the nose, and then we work on our eyebrows. As you can see, I am erasing and then making it look natural. Make sure you draw these lines out that look like a pyramid. Your lips must not cross those lines. Then for your eyes, you divide it into 5 different lines and then put in 2 brackets in it, and then you could begin to make changes to it. Draw your lips and feel free to experiment as much as you want. And as you can see on the eyebrows, it didn't look realistic, so I'm using my eraser to make it look more defined. And then I added the pupil and erased the lines just to make it look cleaner. And then add your ears as well and eyelids. Next, I'm just shading in where I think her hair would be. At this point, I didn't know what type of hairstyle I wanted her to have, but I just went with this. But as you will see later in the video, I chose something else. Next, I'm going to go into painting, and I started first using just one color. Next, I went in and made some shades darker, especially the cheekbones and where your face would have contours. I also went on the neck and did the same thing. Think of this like a female makeup if you're a girl. It's the same method you're going to use. Make sure you put your blush in on the cheeks, your concealer below the eyes, your chin, your nose bridge, and your forehead. And you begin to blend. And once you're done blending, make use of the lasso tool or the magic wand. It's really good so you don't make mistakes or paint places you don't mean to paint. Next, we're working on the lips. I started first by making sure I had the perfect shape. And next, I went with pink. And after pink, I put in multiple shades. Just highlight and put some darker shades of pink using the palette and little lines just to make it look cracked and chapped. Went to the ears. The ears were a bit tricky for me, but just remember that the ears are always like a C, and then put a little curve or use an actual image of an ear as your reference. And then for the eyes, I used the lasso tool so I could just work only on that specific area. This was perfect. I wanted her eyes to be green, but I started with a shade of brown and then I moved to blue, red, and green. Just by creating multiple strokes, I was able to get it and make sure I used the blur brush as well, just to give it that look that I wanted. I put in the pupil and I put in the iris and put in the highlighter for that glossy look. And then I went towards the top layer of the eye to make it darker and more defined as it would look like in an actual person. And then blend, blend, blend. And now I'm gonna go on the eyebrow. I used the brush called Hair, so I adjusted the filters they have there to be just like this. If you use it right now, it doesn't look like this, but play with the tool and you get the perfect shape you want. And I made it look more realistic. I put in the eyebrows as well using the same brush. Now I'm gonna just test the brush again and see what I want to go with. There's so many hair brushes on there, so sometimes you get confused on what to pick, but here you can see I'm still playing with the brushes because I'm just trying to see what I want to use. These are all of them. So I'm going in with one color, and I'm starting with the deepest color I want to use, which is black. I expanded the painting a little bit, and next I'm gonna put little braids on it. I want to give her that medieval look. I play Covette Fashion, so it's one of the hairstyles, or it looks like one of the hairstyles from there, or that was my inspiration. And so I'm going with my second color, which is brown, and then my third color for highlights, which is blonde. And then once I put everything in, I begin to blend and blend again, and then go back again and put in darker shades just to get that effect I want on her hair. I'm also elongating the hair and making it larger or longer, going all the way to the bottom of the page. And these are just the layers that are visible to me. There are multiple layers here, and I was just working with them, clipping and unclipping. At this point, I was still not very satisfied with how her hair looked, so I went in with a tiny brush and I started adding more highlights, as you can see. And then I blended in those highlights and used an even tinier brush to just make it look like real hair strands. Then I went in using the same brush, but now with a darker color. So from afar it might seem like I'm not moving, but I am, but just with a tinier pen, so it doesn't seem like much. And just keep doing this if you're trying to get a realistic hair. This was the first time I was painting this kind of hair, so it was a little bit challenging for me, but I think I like the final product. I'm still shading, as you can see on the left. And then now on the right, I'm moving sections by section until I get the shade I'm looking for. You could already see a difference between the right and the left. And now I'm going to just make her hairline more realistic. I'm using the toggle tool so I could just drag the paint instead of painting over it again. And this made it so much easier. As you can see, I removed the other brush I used around her hair because it looked more like something for lashes than baby hair. And I'm just playing with the layers again. This time I'm trying to blend in that part so it looks natural, like her actual forehead. And if you notice, I purposely made that side a little bit darker because that would be where your deepest shade would be. So think of it like a female makeup once again. And I'm still blending at this point. And now I'm adding in the baby hair and adding extra shadows beneath the braids. And now on her neck, I'm adding shadows for where I want to add her beads or her necklace. And yeah, I used there's a specific brush for making jewelry, so I used that one for this. And it was pretty quick. And that was it. So now I'm just making her chest match her face. and her shoulders to look a little bit human. And yeah, so that's it. I'm adding final touches to her face, adding contours, and fixing whatever I think isn't right. And that's it. And that's how I made this painting. If you enjoyed watching the video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and share to your friends as well. Let me know your favorite brush to use on the IBIS Paint app in the comment section. Until next time.